Wounded Knee Battle. No, it's a massacre by the U.S. Army where they brutally raped the Indians of life. The U.S. Army tortured and annihilated these Sioux Indians with no true reason. But yet, we view these suffering Indians as savages. Why? If someone was attempting to steal your land, murder your family, and take the only way of life you knew, you'd go pretty insane as well. The Wounded Knee Battle occurred December 29, 1890, near Wounded Knee Creek on Lakota Indian Reservation. Many of the Sioux Indians were practicing their ghost dance because they believed God was punishing them for breaking tradition. The Sioux hoped the ghost dance would destroy those trying to destroy their lifestyle. Unfortunately, the ghost dance failed on December 15, 1890, when reservation police tried to arrest the Sioux chief Sitting Bull. The police ignorantly killed him in the process. The massacre essentially began when the U.S. Army's 7th Cavalry surrounded a group of ghost dancers with Bigfoot as their leader. The Army demanded the Sioux give up their weapons and their only protection from the whites, which was destroying their world. One specific Indian refused. Therefore, a fight broke out between the Indian and one soldier, and an unknown shot was fired. As the shot fired, the massacre began. The massacre was completely avoidable, as the U.S. Army did not have a purpose for taking the Indians' possessions and hearts. The U.S. Army was only so much as seeking revenge for when they were defeated at Little Bighorn in 1876. Historians today may call Wounded Knee a battle, but it was only a tragedy that took innocent Indian lives. An estimated 150 Indians were killed and mutilated, and what was most saddening and horrifying is nearly half those victims were women and children. Therefore, congratulations, U.S. Army. You stole the life, the possessions, and the hearts of innocent children and women who were only attempting to protect their family and their world. The U.S. Army also took all that was on the dead Indians, such as clothes, and sold it for profit. Therefore, as I mentioned before, these Indians only wanted to live on the frontier where they were bothering no one. The Indians were invaded, tortured, and mutilated by people who only wanted to do evil to them because they were looking for expansion when the land isn't theirs for the taking. Americans believed in manifest destiny, as it became irresistible for American settlers to expand and settle in each part of the continent. They wanted to settle in what was already occupied by Indians. The U.S. Army causes bloody havoc and brutalization because they are selfish and can never have enough. Wounded Knee is recorded as a victory for the U.S. Army, but it should be a fall into hell because of the innocence they stole. The U.S. Army was also awarded 23 Medals of Honor. Honor for what? They murdered these people who only lived their life without being a bother to anyone. So these Indians are savages in our mind today, as we use them as sport team names, advertisements for butter and such. But no, that's not okay. Simply because, hey, take a look at yourself. If you were losing everything you've ever known, ever loved, only because you found land and were living on it, you'd fight a little crazily too. And perhaps we would view you as a savage, right? So this historical event is called the Battle of Wounded Knee, but a better suited name would be the Rape of Innocence at Wounded Knee.